Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be running through universe mode. How it's going to work, what do the rosters look like, what do the champions look like, right before Money in the Bank. So, how it's going to work. There's three brands: Raw, NXT and SmackDown. Raw is going to be run by Robert, who's the general manager, and SmackDown is going to be run by me. I'll be their general manager. NXT is going to be where the two general managers come together to control the brand. Now, each brand has its own roster, which has been done courtesy of a lottery draft, which has already been done prior to this video, and I want to run you through them rosters right now. On Monday Night Raw, Brandy Rhodes, Lacey Evans, Stephanie McMahon, Molly Holly, Ronda Rousey, the Kabuki Warriors, Natalya, who is the #1 contender to the Women's WWE Championship, Red, who comes from the My Career Mode section of WWE 2K20, Naomi, formerly known in WWE as Emma Tenile Dashwood, Vicky Guerrero, who is the Women's WWE Champion, Maurice AJ Lee, who is the #1 contender to the Raw Women's title over on Monday Night Raw, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, the Raw Women's Champion Sasha Banks, Mia Yim, the United States Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, Carmella, the Bella Twins, and finally, number 21 on the roster, Trish Stratus. Now, any special updates to any brand, any news, any new champions, results from the pay-per-views, results from the weekly shows, all will be over on our Twitter page, which is at the top of your screen. Now, moving on to NXT, the roster with 22 women. The first woman, you can see right there as the picture of Money in the Bank, Scarlett Bordeaux. The second member of the roster is Eve Torres, Maria Kanellis, Josie Jane, Jazz, the NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon, a legend in WWE, Beth Phoenix, Piper Niven, Tessa Blanchard, the NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm, Mickie James, Shotzi Blackheart, Cameron, Aaliyah, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Fire and Desire, Chelsea Green, Candice LeRae, Brooke, who comes from My Career, Dana Brooke, Alicia Fox, Tamina, and finally Raquel Gonzalez. That is NXT's roster. As I said, there is no certain general manager. Myself, Robert, we go to NXT. We come together to make NXT a third brand, not just a minor show. And it's not going to be included at Survivor Series or major Raw versus SmackDown pay-per-views, but will be included at Money in the Bank, as it has its own Women's Money in the Bank briefcase. So it'll be included on most pay-per-views. Some it will not be included on, but we'll run through them when we get to them. And finally, Friday Night SmackDown, which is controlled by myself, the general manager. The first pick that came out of the lottery for SmackDown was Kelly Kelly, Layla, the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, Lana, the Riot Squad, Rhea Ripley, Nikki Cross, Paige, Bianca Belair, Kaylee Ray, Zelina Vega, Lita, Tegan Knox, the Irish last kicker, the man, Becky Lynch, China, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, the #1 contender to the women's Universal title, Shayna Baszler, Michelle McCool, Nia Jax, the Iconics, and Brooklyn Von Braun. We are now going to take you through all 3 shows. As you can see, the champions here, the WWE Champion Vickie Guerrero, the US Champion Alexa Bliss. There is no Raw Women's Money in the Bank yet, but that will be decided in the next episode at Money in the Bank. Sasha Banks is the Raw Women's Champion, and we are yet to crown a women's tag team champions. But the women's tag team titles will have to be defended on all 3 brands, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, as we have tag teams on all 3 brands, and we will crown that very soon. As you can see, the champions over on NXT, Ember Moon, the NXT Women's Champion, Toni Storm, the NXT UK Women's Champion. Again, no women's Money in the Bank holder yet on NXT, and still no women's tag team champions, as that will be the same for all brands. My show now, the A Show, SmackDown. Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky Lynch is the Universal Women's Champion. Tegan Knox, the Intercontinental Women's Champion. Still no women's tag team champions, and no SmackDown Women's Money in the Bank holder yet. But all Money in the Bank holders will be crowned in the next episode at Money in the Bank. Speaking of Money in the Bank, the only brand who we know is in the Money in the Bank matches is SmackDown. Each show will have their own Money in the Bank fatal 4-way ladder match to crown their Money in the Bank holder. For SmackDown, Layla, Kaylee Ray, the Intercontinental Women's Champion Tegan Knox, and Ruby Riott all earned their way into this matchup. We don't know what it's looking like for Raw and NXT, just yet. But I'm sure we will find that out very soon. Now, guys, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Go over and follow the Twitter, which is at the top of the screen. And just stay tuned. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned, and get over to that Twitter. Also, if you have any suggestions for this universe mode, leave them down in the comments below. This universe will include you, the audience, as in the comments there will be polls later on in the series for what type of matchup should go where. Now, we don't quite know the card in full, for Money in the Bank, but we do know the SmackDown Women's Money in the Bank match. We do know that Becky Lynch will defend her Universal Women's Championship against Shayna Baszler. We don't know the NXT Women's Money in the Bank ladder match participants. And we know there will be 2 title matches coming from the Raw side. Natalya will look to beat Vickie Guerrero for the Women's WWE Championship, and AJ Lee will look to defeat Sasha Banks and take that Raw Women's title. We don't know them Money in the Bank ladder match participants either, but both Natalya, AJ Lee are going to try to win them titles. But if there has already been a Money in the Bank match before them matches, Sasha Banks and Vicky Guerrero better watch their backs, because who knows, they could be getting cashed in on at Money in the Bank. And we will crown our inaugural Universe Mode Women's WWE Tag Team Champions. We do know them participants in this matchup. Representing Team Raw are the Bella Twins. Nikki and Brie will look to win a WWE Women's Tag Team title. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Fire and Desire, will represent NXT. And Billy and Peyton, the Iconics, will represent the A Show. My Show are bringing them titles back home. Have to be defended across all three brands, but they're going to be home to SmackDown. And we will make them titles iconic. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned, stay updated on Twitter, and make sure to like, subscribe, comment on this video, and we'll see. Me and Robert will be here making his Universe Mode debut. Will be here to bring you Money in the Bank. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you in the next.